Hi guys, and welcome back to the Project Endure video series, documenting my journey as I complete the Enduroman Arch to Arc Triathlon while trying to break the world record and raise $50,000 or more for mental health advocacy and suicide prevention. I'm Ryan, this is Simba, and this, of course, is Poseidon. And we'd like to thank you guys for joining us on our journey from London, England to Paris, France. We are officially 1 week into Project Endure. Today is Friday, March 1st, exactly 1 week from when I dropped the last video and opened my social media channels for Project Endure A2A, as well as the GoFundMe. The amount of support and optimism I've received after only 1 week is absolutely incredible and overwhelming, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. We together have already raised $320 through my GoFundMe, and the first video received overwhelming support. So really quick, if you guys could do me a quick favor and hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, not just for me, but for the other members of Project Endure who have donated their time, effort, and money into this cause so that we can reach as many people as possible in our mission for mental health advocacy and suicide prevention. I do want to give a quick shout out to the 6 people so far that have donated to the fundraiser. I'm going to continue to point out as many individuals as I can and note that anyone who donates to Project Endure in any way, whether it's your money, your time, or simply your enthusiasm, you are part of Project Endure. I am simply the muscle and a little bit of the mind that goes along with it that will physically push my body from the Marble Arch to the Arc de Triomphe, but you guys make the difference with every like, with every donation, with every word of encouragement that keeps me going, because I'm not doing this for myself. I'm trying to do this so that I can make as big a difference in the grand scheme of mental health advocacy and doing what I can do to improve the lives of others. So everything you guys do for me is doing for those as well. So we're all part of this project together, myself, my support crew, every donor and sponsor. So again, thank you guys in advance, and I appreciate all of your help. I also wanted to take a quick moment to clarify some of the details surrounding my fundraising effort. I have yet to decide a specific charity or organization for the proceeds to go to, but I know it'll be something involving mental health awareness and suicide prevention, of course. I'm doing my due diligence and plenty of research to make sure I find a charity and organization that aligns with my views. I did also want to point out that you can currently donate to my GoFundMe, which is linked to my profile and this video. So you can donate right now, and I'll be very transparent about where the money is going, when it is moved from the GoFundMe to the organization, so on and so forth. I'm also working on getting a Patreon channel. As soon as I do so, I'll have that link to the video and my channel as well. So go ahead, if you guys can, go ahead and donate. It would be much appreciated, and I look forward to giving you guys a shout out, because I'll be doing shout outs as much as I can until the donations become so overwhelming and you guys support me so much that I can't possibly waste the time to give everybody a shout out. So get in early while you can before the channel blows up. As I mentioned in my first video last week, my primary objective for this video series and Project Endure as a whole is to be an advocate for mental health awareness and suicide prevention. One of the ways I know that I can do that is by sharing my mental health journey and some tools, tips, tricks, and habits I learned to get myself out of the darkness, to share those with others who might be struggling. I do have to be honest, I'm a little self-conscious in talking about this, only insofar as that when I talk about my mental health journey, I really don't want to sound self-righteous. But I have been told that using my journey and my experience and some of the systematic tools and habits I learned along the way, as well as using specifically my training as motivation and inspiration, is helpful to others. So again, I try not to sound self-righteous. I'm just trying to help others out, and I have to overcome that self-consciousness in order to increase my viewer base and reach as many people with this channel as possible. So of course I can raise as much money as possible, so I can help as many people as possible. So it's on me to get over that as I share these tips, tricks, and tools and habits with you guys along the way. The first habit I want to share with you guys that I use to help me get my way through the darkness and out of rock bottom is reading. Not a very world breaking habit, but it is a very simple one to help you get started on your mental health journey. And the very first one I used that helped me turn things around in my life. One of the reasons that reading helps so much is that any type of learning is going to increase your neuroplasticity, or simply put, the way in which your brain fires and the way it's structured. When we increase our neuroplasticity, and you can check this out to the linked article in my description below, anytime we increase our neuroplasticity, we're also going to inherently increase our own self-worth, our self-efficacy, and our self-esteem. So along with reading, just kind of picking up any other habits that are positive that enforces learning, such as I also used learning how to juggle and solve a Rubik's Cube early in my mental health journey. Helps change the structure of your brain and just feel a little bit better about yourself, which can go a long way in the long run. I promise you that. I've also found that making a habit of reading every morning just structurally really helps me in my day. I'll start my morning off every day with my coffee and Poseidon in my lap, curled up with a good book. Usually in the morning, I'll start off with something non-fiction or motivational, non-fiction, motivational, just to get started. I find that if it's educational or motivational, it really activates that part of my brain that feels motivated to start and be disciplined for my first workout of the day. Then I'll usually shift at nighttime to help decrease on screen time before bed and really help me kind of decrease TV entirely, take TV out of my habits entirely, is reading fiction before bed. I found that it's really helped me, again, decrease screen time and get to sleep a little bit earlier by just kind of shifting the part of my brain that I'm using before bed, not doing as much rumination, more focused on the nonfiction aspect of the book I'm reading, which of course right now is Game of Thrones, setting myself up for utter disappointment when it's never finished. So I will use reading as a springboard to start my day, any day where I'm able to get my feet on the ground, meaning I'm waking up and out of bed before 5 o'clock and have my coffee in my hand and I'm reading my first couple words before 5 a.m., it's almost impossible for me to have a bad day after that. One last tip specifically regarding reading that I'd like to share for the people that are like me who have ADHD. Mine specifically is hyperactive and impulse based, not so much attention deficit. But for others who struggle with reading, what really helps me out was by reading a couple of different books at the same time and being able to read like a chapter of one book and then pick up another book and read a chapter of that. And by reading in smaller intervals and kind of building it up and building it up, just like you would do with your training. And then once you make it a habit and find reading to be enjoyable, I promise you it can be life changing. So thank you guys for checking out my first tip on my mental health journey. I'll be happy to share more along the way, and more if you guys have any specific questions, I'll be happy to share about. And I'll be sure to get more and more in depth about my own journey as we get deeper and deeper into Project Endure. I just don't want to scare any of you guys off. So thank you guys again for joining me. If you're just here for the Project Endure updates, I want to just say thank you and I love you. If you guys are here for my training updates, I've got a great one for you guys this week and a marathon coming up in a couple of days. So let's go check it out. Welcome back, guys, to the second edition of my training analysis as we work towards the Arch to Arc Triathlon here on Project Endure. I did want to say two things real quick that I'm going to continue to work on as I keep getting this content and video out for you guys, hopefully to use in your training, much like I do in my own. Hopefully you guys are throwing me on during your trainer sessions. So I'm going to continue to work, one, on getting more content of filming myself specifically during my workouts, just so these are a little bit more engaging, as well as educational, so that I can just give you guys more content and clips of myself for you guys. I'm also going to work on the audio quality and the cuts themselves of the video. Audio video is certainly a new thing to me and something I'm learning quickly, rapidly, and having a great time with, but certainly have a long way to go to improve the quality of these videos. So I appreciate you guys staying with me. All right, without further ado, let's get up to where we were when I left off with you guys last week, which was here on Monday the 19th, which of course is the day I have my EMT class. So I was able to get in a quick little swim, 2,200 yards, nothing really special, some quality in there, like a 5x100 as per usual, which is what I usually do when I'm short on time. And then I was also able to get a quick lift in during my lunch break. Again, nothing really special, just getting it in. Same with Tuesday. I was really feeling it on Tuesday, still kind of recovering from my off week last week, just trying to get some good volume in on my off day. But again, Tuesdays are really slow for me to get started. But I was able to get a quick hour and a half in on the bike and a quick 30-minute swim. Again, nothing really special, no real quality in there, but getting the laps in, trying to get my swim volume up, which I'll explain a little bit more in a little bit. My long run happened on Thursday. This is my last long run and last big workout before the not Ironman, the marathon of the Treasure Coast, which of course I have upcoming in 2 days as I'm filming on Friday, and the marathon's on Sunday. So last long run, I tried to get some content on this for you guys. I'll plug it here in a second, of me running with Poseidon, both beginning and at the end of the workout. Unfortunately, the end of the workout one got cut out, the audio. Anyways, what I did here for the run was just a standard 30-minute warm up. And then I was trying to combine a little bit of kind of tempo, high end zone 2, low end zone 3 work, with a lot of endurance and volume, because it was my last chance to kind of get it in before race day. And I really haven't done much run volume coming up into this race. So I did 30 minutes at just below race pace, 7:05 to 7:35 pace. I think I averaged 7:30 on the whole 30 minutes, and then just did 5 minutes easy jog recovery, and then did the run walk method. I did 8 minutes jog at 8 to 9 minutes and 2 minutes easy walk, 4 times through. I am not too proud at all to do the run walk method, especially in a case like this where I'm trying to get endurance without too much stress. A great method to use if Chelsea Sodaro can use it in the Ironman World Championship and win a few months after giving birth, I can use it for my marathon. Then I did my cool down, and of course I did this workout. I ran to work, I checked in there, ran back home, and then went back to work. Again, I'm very privileged. I have a workout time at work from 7:30 in the morning to 8:45 in the morning, where I get paid to work out, to make sure that, again, I'm in tip-top shape to make sure I can make ocean rescues. Then I actually did a second workout. I was a little upset that I wasn't able to get the full 2 hours in the morning. So it served me well because I got an additional, but especially soft sand, do it in very, very small chunks. Of course, I've been wearing no shoes at work for as long as I've been an ocean lifeguard. So no shoes, no shirt, all service. But even I have to make sure I monitor the total volume I do in the soft sand. So I just did my standard 10-minute warm up, 20-minute tempo, similar to my long run, but the pace was obviously way slower. And then a 10-minute cool down and hopped in the ocean and swam a little bit. I actually had a little rescue at the end of work right at 5:15. We got an alert that some beach patrons saw a swimmer in distress who actually ended up being a little more than a half a mile out to sea. We saw him in the binoculars, the binos. He was wearing fins, it seemed, and he wasn't in distress by what we could tell. But of course, we couldn't just leave him out there. So somebody had to hop on a paddleboard and just check in and make sure he was okay. So I got a second workout in during the day and did a 15 to 25-ish minute paddle. Unfortunately, I didn't record it. Don't really know why, to be honest. And I had to haul ass, so I was going 90 to 100% the whole time. So that actually had a lot more fatigue into it than you can see that was recorded, unfortunately. So that really kind of threw my Sunday afternoon out of whack, especially because I have EMT class the next day. So admittedly, I checked out that night, grabbed a pizza, laid on the couch, just checked out for the night and was not ready to go to get my swim in for the EMT class the next day. Sometimes, life just is what it is. I'm an advocate for always getting, things in when you can, but also being kind on yourself when you need to. Again, especially with the marathon coming up, I'm keeping the main thing the main thing. So if I have to be a little more judicious with my off days, which I most certainly have with my increased schedule with my EMT class, then that's what you have to do. So I didn't get anything in because of the EMT class on Monday. And then I actually also had a ride time with the fire department, which is actually longer than my EMT class. I was there from 7:30 to 5:30, so a full 10-hour day. And of course, I have to make sure Poseidon gets his. So wasn't able to get anything in those last 2 days, but was again keeping the main thing, which of course is keeping the body fresh for the marathon. So then on Wednesday, which I was working again, so let's go into that and just check out the life stress we got going on. Not asking for pity here, just showing explanations. So we had class on Monday. We were off Tuesday and Wednesday. Thankfully, had some recovery, long run, and then worked on Thursday. Friday we worked. Saturday we worked. Sunday, so 4 days in a row. Monday we had our EMT class, 5 days in a row, 6 days in a row with our ride time on Tuesday, our 7th day here on Wednesday. So honestly, life stress wise, in a good place, but definitely feeling a little whelmed, if not overwhelmed. But we were able to get a quick swim in our morning workout for work. Again, really grateful I get to work out at work. And then got a run in with Poe after work for just under a half hour. Really, again, not focusing on pace. Pace was slow, but really just focus on getting rid of that inhibition and just slipping the shoes on and getting it done. Kind of the same with the next morning, just a really easy. I wanted to do at least a half hour, but messed up with getting ready for work and misplaced some things and ended up, thank you, ADHD, ended up only doing a 15-minute ride, which is A-okay. And then had drills at work, so wasn't able to get a second workout in. And then today, as of recording, knocked out a quick hour-long ride in. And I'm doing my recording now and hope to get another swim in later on if I'm able to get this video done in time before you guys all watch it, like it, and subscribe for it. Tomorrow, I'm just going to do an easy little tempo run. That's the plan, at least. If I have to cut it out because I'm not feeling it, then I'm going to cut it out. And finally, that leaves us with our marathon. I'm going to go over the plan for the marathon real quick, especially what you guys are seeing here called the Masoji run and swim after the marathon. And I don't really have much to talk about next week because honestly, I'm going to play it by year and play it by ear, play it by year. Let me know in the comments which, is the actual phrase, LMK. Anyways, next week, I'm just going to see what happens with how my body reacts with how I do with the Masoji, as I'll explain in a moment. So we'll see next week how I feel, and then here will be my next block as we get ready for Ironman Texas, which of course my bread and butter, my main race. I may do the Swim Miami open water 10K swim. It's a nice close swim, nice cheap swim too. I'll do it if I'm able to have a weekend day off of work at that point, but if not, I'll just go ahead and do a 10K in the pool around that time. So on Sunday, I'll be doing my Treasure Coast Marathon. It is about 45 minutes away, 45 minutes north of me in Stuart, Florida. Very flat course, very fast. I believe you go over 2 bridges, each of them twice. So not a lot of elevation, except for, of course, going up and down the bridge. The plan is to try to qualify for Boston, which, of course, for my age group is the fastest qualifying time, the open qualifying time, which is right around 3 hours. I believe it's technically 2:59. It's a 6:59 pace or 6:58 pace, right around that range. So my goal is pretty straightforward. I'm going to try to run the first half right around 6:50 and then see if I can hold that or even drop it down to around 6:45 for the second half. I'm honestly not sure how I'll do for the full marathon. If this were a half and we're trying to run it at the same pace, I don't think it would be a problem. I think as long as the normal circumstances, nutrition, and all that good stuff, health, how I feel, yada, 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 all goes well, I don't think that would be a problem at all. For a marathon, though, I honestly do not have the running volume to be confident that after mile 13, I'll be able to really, really hold to my pace. So I'm absolutely going to give it my hardest effort. I think my legs are in a good place right now, forcing myself to take a lot more recovery over these last couple days. I think actually sets me up to do really well for this race. And the fact that I'm doing so well and in such a good place with my mental health, I have very minimal race anxiety. I'm just really looking forward to having a good time, to be honest with you guys. And if I don't do so well during the race itself, I do have a fallback plan, not even a fallback plan because I'll be doing this either way. And that is what I'll be calling in my training very specific work for the Arch to Arc and Project Endure is Masojis. Masoji, I'm absolutely probably butchering the word itself, and even more so butchering what it actually is. Probably Americanizing it too much, but anyways, it's a Japanese construct that I first heard from my buddy Max, who heard from, I believe, Kyle Korver, the NBA sharpshooter, in his podcast. And I read a lot more about in The Comfort Crisis, great book by Michael Easter that I actually mentioned in the first half of this video. What a masoji is, it's essentially something you do. I don't know the specifics on it. You do it every once in a while, maybe once in a year. And it can be a physical challenge or a challenge of really any kind. It could be like something like fasting and just doing something for basically as long as you can do it. And often it'll end up being a transcendent experience. So my plan is to use this as I build towards the Arch to Arc. When I have a marathon or a long swim or something like that, I'm going to try to do at least one of the other disciplines to just get used to pushing myself past the physical limit and seeing how that feels mentally. So I plan on qualifying for Boston, getting on the podium, shaking hands, kissing babies, all that good stuff, looking handsome on the podium and taking pictures. And then when I get home, maybe I'll do a little recovery. I'm not quite sure how I want to plan to do it just yet. Maybe I'll do it with Poe. I'll likely do it with Poe. Maybe I'll do it barefoot on the beach. We'll see. But I just plan on doing another run very similar to how I did the other day after my long run, and just pushing it for as long as I can go, as long as, what feels good. And then same thing with a swim, because of course the Arched Arc is going to have a 21-mile swim after an 87-mile run. So taking the opportunity of having hopefully at least 30 miles in the bank that day already, just to get some mileage in the swim. Could be 1,000 yards, could be a 10K. Either way, as long as I get in the pool or the ocean, it's a great job. So thank you guys for following me again and checking in. That's where I'm going to leave you guys off. I'll check in hopefully next week when I'm a Boston qualifier and give you the skivvy on how I did during the race. Again, really not much to share during the race itself. We can talk about my nutrition plan, but it's pretty straightforward. So I'll check in with you guys then. Again, thank you guys for checking me out. Please continue to like, subscribe, and follow me on my journey. Thank you. I love you. And if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, or advice, please, please, please go ahead and comment or reach out to me. See you guys next week. That was a good take. Who's getting peanut butter? You're getting peanut butter. Who's getting peanut butter? You're getting peanut butter.